Welcome to this edition of Now That I Are a Match Director, What the Heck Can I Do? Because there's some things that I like to make some changes regarding our registration process and explanation when people sign up to shoot in a particular match. As always, you want to have an account on PracticeScore to begin with and be set up by your respective systems administrator guru as a match director for one or more matches for your club or shooting group. So once you have that, we're going to go over here and click on the Match Directors tab, and that'll list your one or more matches that you have. The one we're going to take a look at today is just one of these here, and that's Real World Gun, hosted by the Dallas Pistol Club in Carrollton, Texas. Takes you to the dashboard here, Dallas Pistol Club, a Real World Gun dashboard. I'm going to skip down here past some of the fine print and some of the details and narrow our search and look here at a particular match in question. This is an upcoming match, Dallas Pistol Club, Real World Gun, 6/22/19. I'm going to click on the text and show you what it looks like. And that'll take you to the registration page. Now this is the page that a shooter, an individual shooter who gets the link from your broadcast out or knows where to look. Anyway, they're going to come to this page and they're going to fill out this particular registration form. I'm going to skip down here where you'd start, and because they signed on to their PracticeScore account, they've got their name and email address automatically fills in. For our club, for this particular match, we have a division set up. You may have something similar. You may want to have more or less divisions than are currently listed. Now I'm going to assume, like in my case, that maybe you took over after somebody set all this stuff up, and for whatever reason you want to include new or take away certain divisions, or maybe the explanations of what the codes, what the difference is between a DS and an NFC, and you may want to change the description underneath there. Or you have information about your club, Dallas Pistol Club range officer, getting them to sign up, yes or no, and so forth like that, or their membership status that we have listed here. And also, because we have the club open to all non-members during scheduled matches, we certainly want them to complete a waiver, read the fine print, et cetera, then come on down here and check the box and then click the blue button, and the individual is registered. And as I said, maybe for some reason you want to add or modify the information that's contained here on this registration page. Well, the way to do that is we're going to have to back up. So I'm going to come over here and back up on the computer and show you another edit button. And this is for a specific match here. And this is the one that's going to control when the match is going to be actually shot, starting and end time, as well as the registrations opens and closes. And also to point out some other information. Now, most of this, again, if somebody else has already set it up and they've copied or cloned is the term they use in PracticeScore, you may have little or nothing that you ever want to change on this. But I did have to go to this page here to add a additional division that I felt was necessary on our registration page. Also, it's very important that you have a number here, max number of shooters, so that you control the situation there. Too few or too big or too small of a number can obviously cause a problem. Right here I've got my cursor on the lower right hand corner. I'm going to drag it over here to the right so you can expand it and take a look at it. I'm sure you've seen this sort of software on your computer, and you can add and change the text as necessary there. Information about payments and pricing here. And then down here at the bottom is a place it's required to have 3 email addresses. They don't have to be the same email addresses. You may have a situation with your club or group that certain individuals need to know when people have registered, or other information that's been going on as the match is developing and people are registering. So give some consideration as to who needs to be informed by an email copy of an individual's registration form. And as always, click the blue button to save the information. Okay, so enough on this particular match here. Let's take a look at some other details, and I'm going to go to the manage blue button here, and I want to manage the dashboard. Just want to show you what it looks like. Oops, got to click on the blue button and that freezes the drop down box. The match dashboard can be very handy for staff and people wanting to see how the match is shaping up relative to how many folks. For example, this is a dashboard. This is sort of a top-down view for the upcoming match, and that currently we have 7 approved shooters. We don't collect the money online. We do that on the morning of the match here, and you can see which divisions they've signed up in, as well as, and this is very important for a match director, like in our club's case, you have to have 2 range officers for every squad. So if you have 10 people and you want to have 2 squads of 5, out of that 10, you need to have 4 range officers, 2 on one squad, 2 on another, and there you go. So the total squad number can vary in our case, but we're by club policy, we have to have 2 range officers, and that really dictates what's going to be happening in a given match. And so right now, for 7 shooters, we have 3 range officers. So until we get a 4th range officer, we would be forced to have 1 squad of all 7 people. Now I anticipate this is going to get up there well over 20, maybe closer to 30, maybe even 40 people. And hopefully we'll have the right ratio of range officers to shooters. And of course the range officers can shoot as well, but each squad has to have a minimum of 2 range officers on it. Okay, so much for our particulars here. So let's back up and look at some other stuff. This is the dashboard for a given match. And now I want to look at the edit the registration form. I want to take you to that form so you could look at what's required and how you go about editing the registration form. So in this case, you include an email address, the title of the match and the date and so forth. And here I have just simply a brief thank you message, and it's a good way to give the person some information if you don't send other communication during the week or prior to the start of the match. Not a problem. Okay, let's move down here. Let's point out a couple things. I think it's very helpful to include a squatting link at the bottom of the thank you message and approval email. That way you get the person to self-squad themselves, and it'll simplify matters on your match day. And in our case, we do want to include a waiver as far as non-members shooting. Now we do require this as well as members, so we don't discriminate. Everybody has to click the box and sign the waiver, so to speak here. Moving down, standard information gets filled in. There are 3 required fields here, first name, last name, and email address. Okay, so you've got a situation on your registration form regarding the division, and you want to make a change to it. Notice how when I move the mouse over, it goes blue, so it's active, but we still can't change anything. What we have to do is click the black box labeled Show Properties. Aha, and it opens up. Now, this particular single selection field, as it's called, we could label it something else and use it for another purpose, but this is just the way it's worked out, and it works fine for me. So, here's the description of the various divisions. I rewrote it a little bit here to add some clarification, I think, for some of the novice, brand new shooters. And also I did add a new division down here, this not for competition division. Now, you can add or delete divisions, and I'll show you how that's easily done. Simply click the add option box here, and I'm just going to type new division. And there it is, and I would simply save it at the bottom, which I'll show you in just a moment. If I want to get rid of a division, just click the little trash can icon. Oh, it's gone. Not a problem. Okay, let's look at another single selection field preview, in this case pertaining to our club's range officers. Didn't really make any change other than some text in here. And another change I did make was in the club status, indicating membership all the way down to match director. I wanted to include two categories that previously weren't listed there, as well as to put the amount of money that they're going to pay when they show up for registration. Again, clicking the show properties, you can see how that opens up, and you can add or delete the text as necessary, as well as the other fields there. Okay. So now down here at the very bottom and so forth are two categories that I really haven't found any use for or need. Maybe this is a solution looking for a problem. I don't know. In any case, it may be helpful to add a custom field, and you can see the things that pop up. And then over here, maybe you need to add a default field. And we've got our custom as well as default fields already, so we're all set. And then of course just click the blue save form button at the bottom and you save the revisions. Their new registration, new and improved registration form is all set up for all the matches associated with this registration form. Okay, so backing it up, see if there's anything else that we might want to look at. We've edited some things and so forth like that. And again, once you've created the kind of registration form that works best for you regarding your time, divisions, membership status, whatever the categories may be, contact whoever manages the cloning or setting up the matches in coming weeks or months ahead. In our case, annually, our kind of systems administrator in December or January, what it'll do is take one of the existing matches of the prior year and simply clone it. And that's what this individual does. Will clone the match for the next 12 months. So once you've got things tweaked and set up the way you like it as a newly minted match director, you want to make sure that all those changes get included so you don't have to make the changes every month or every week when you're hosting the match. So take a look at that. Right now, I'm going through a process of learning how to be a new match director, and I've made some changes here and there. I'm not sure I'm going to keep certain things the same on practice score, so later on this year I'm going to kind of settle into exactly the way I want it, and want to make sure that that latest and greatest version of the registration form or other relevant information, so that's the one that they're going to clone for 2020. So thanks so much for watching. A bit on the long side, but I thought it was very valuable to share this information with you. So good shooting, and hope it all works out well for you.